Yeah, away we go on a Wednesday edition. Mr. Relevant, I'm Alex Strouf with you from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studio at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee. Josh DiMaggio is here. Will Sommers is here running the show for us on this fine Wednesday, episode 302. Did your mother ever teach you to pick up after yourself?
Huh?
You're leaving dirty forks and whatnot in the control room?
Yeah, I'm not done in there. It's rich for you to say.
What do you mean? What have I ever done?
You are the foremost expert on treating shared spaces like your bedroom.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I've sent the group chat with me, you, Will, and Hunter in it many separate things
No.
that are an issue and have been an issue and continue to be an issue.
Whatever, dude. I'm not doing this with you. Not doing this.
You opened the door.
I did not open the door.
You swung it open.
You kicked it open.
Yeah, well, let's just put it this way. Dirty forks was an analogy for something else. Just put it that way. Use your imagination. Laying on the table, you gross man.
Okay, great. Are we going to do a show or are you going to sit here?
I just like stewing in silence. It's a little uncomfortable.
It's good. You should keep doing it.
Really appealing to the audience right now.
I thought that was a good start.
No.
I thought that was a really
No.
good start. It was a standoff. I was kind of waiting for Will to jump in. Brett chimes in. Josh is executive producer now. He does what he wants.
Let's be clear. I've always done what I wanted. Nothing's changed.
Just the title.
Not wrong.
The behavior is not.
Yeah, no.
No, he's actually right about that. He's not lying to you on that front. Okay, plenty to get into. Packers and Browns fallout as we get ready for Sunday Night Football. Packers Cowboys coming up on Sunday night as Micah Parsons returns to Dallas for the first time as a member of the Green Bay Packers. I do want to shut the door on that Browns loss in a moment. I also want to get to a top 5 storylines. We're about a what are we, like a 10% of the season, 15% of the season? What's 17? What's 3 that goes into 17? A little under 20%.
How many times does 3 go into 15?
5, so that's 20%. But we got to go to 17. So that's why I said 15% or so through the NFL season. 3 weeks in, and I want to run through.
How do you end up so many times in places where you back yourself into a corner? You didn't have to do the percentage.
17%.
You didn't need to do that, and then you just walked into it, and then stumbled all over yourself.
So here's the thing. I believe I'm pretty good at my job. Fair?
Yeah.
I think I'm pretty good at this.
Yep.
I would say one thing about me that I could certainly improve on is finding myself in mathematic holes.
Yes. Yes. It's totally unnecessary.
It always, 99% of the time, it's unnecessary.
Yes.
Could have just said, we're very early in the season. No math.
I don't
no
want to hear
numbers.
from you. I'm talking to Josh right now. So
It was nice when it was 16. You could do 4 as a quarter of the season.
Exactly.
It was easier.
And
I'll give you that.
And that's what I'm used to, despite the fact this is like the 5th or 6th year with 17 games. That's what I'm used to. And so my mathematic holes, oftentimes I'm just trying to like make it cute and make it clean, kind of a clean break.
It's a good thing that it makes it worse and
Yeah,
sloppier.
but you could make the case that that's what makes me me. Not everything is clean. Not everything is cute. There's some messiness to me. And maybe I think that, you talk about appealing to you may make fun of me sometimes. I appeal to 20 or 10% of the audience.
Yeah.
I think the fact that I'm imperfect makes me appeal to 100% of the audience. I'm not perfect.
I think if you were to ask the audience, they want your information to be closer to perfect than not.
Will, poll it on the YouTube chat right now. Do you want Strouf to be perfect or imperfect? I bet we'll get 100% imperfect.
Just go around Josh's mess to type it in. 1 sec.
Nice pop, Will. Nice pop. So we're going to get to my top 5 storylines through 3 weeks for the Green Bay Packers. Ultimately is what I was trying to say there. We will hear from Jerry Jones. Just one quick thing from Jerry Jones at some point because, dude, I love old people because sometimes they don't think straight. And I think the constant setting that Jerry Jones is now on is he's not thinking straight. And he does a weekly, because he loves attention. He loves the spotlight, as we know about him. He thinks he's living a reality television show as the owner and GM of the Cowboys. So he does weekly interviews. And I don't listen to him, but I listen to this one, obviously, because they're playing the Packers, and I imagine he's talking a lot about Micah Parsons, with which he did. And he just says things he shouldn't say all the time. All the time. And I find it super fascinating. So we'll hear from Jerry Jones in a bit. I do want to talk about the Brewers and any concerns we have with just 4 games, and if you're listening on the audio side, likely just 3 games when you're hearing this, remaining in the season, and what worries we have on the Milwaukee Brewers as we get ready for a postseason run. They've clinched the bye. Hopefully we'll clinch the 1 seed here in the next couple of days. Of course, we'll play some One Word Wednesday, and we will get into what we missed. But the starting point today is how we're feeling a couple days removed from Packers-Browns. Packers fall 13-10.
Have you admitted to the audience?
I have not on this show. I haven't had the opportunity to on this show. We talked on this show if I would eventually get to a point where I said, hey, it's a good wake-up call. Because throughout the entirety of this program on Monday, 12:30 to 1:30 Central, I was still feeling pissed off and just kind of yucky about how the Packers ended that game in Cleveland. And I said at one point during the show, if I'm not mistaken, I'm not a huge believer in the wake-up call in the National Football League. Well, that all changed at 4:08 p.m. on Monday on Kyle Bruston Nortman. I forget who the call was from, but we got a call that convinced me.
Is it Mo from Illinois?
Yeah,
Might have been Mo.
in
Yeah,
Illinois.
might have been Mo from Illinois. Good memory, fellas.
Great calls from Mo.
Yeah, he's a great caller.
Shout out
I
Mo.
love his perspective on all things Packers. He's been an awesome fan and caller for years to ESPN Milwaukee and ESPN Wisconsin. And he called in, and his perspective put me in the place where I said, you know what, Mo's right. That was a wake-up call. And it should serve as one. And Joshy, I did say this on Monday prior to the wake-up call thing, but still 2 days post wake-up call thing. You can't go 13-4 without 4.
You're clever.
Are you like extra cranky today? What's going on?
No, the Packers were going to lose. You just hoped it wasn't the Bears. The Browns. You also hope it wasn't the Bears as well. But I don't know how much there is to even learn from what happened in the Bears game.
Browns.
Jeez. I don't know. I don't know what to take from it other
Did you
than
just say rent-free?
Living in that dome of yours.
I just don't know what to take from it. You could point a lot to the offensive line health and Matt LaFleur making mistakes and Jordan Love making a mistake. But I don't know if any of those 2 things are going to dictate the rest of the season. Like, I don't see anything that happened on Sunday happening again throughout the season, really.
Yeah. I tend to agree.
Yeah. And that's what makes it frustrating.
I don't know, frankly, if you see a defensive line that good the rest of the season, or a front 7 that good. There's some teams on the schedule that have good front 7s, but I don't know if you see one to the level of Cleveland. And we completely underestimated them, right? You obviously had Myles Garrett circled, and that's a guy we talked a ton about last week. But did you have Carson? This one's always hard for me. Carson Schwessinger. Did you have him circled? Because I didn't. Ball though.
Not particularly. I thought he'd certainly. I mean, I know he's on the field for them like 100% of the time.
But you didn't expect.
No.
Let me rephrase, because I think that's a guy you did circle before the season as Defensive Rookie of the Year. But
I think the only thing that's really going to be close is the Eagles game, by the way, in terms of defensive fronts, which. And the Vikings are decent overall, but in terms of front, that's one of the better ones.
And I agree. So, but the offensive line was totally ruined,
Shambles.
Decimated with injuries. And there's still, and I don't know if LaFleur or anybody has talked about this quite yet, I just don't get what they were doing at right tackle in that game.
No.
To start, and we talked about this a little bit on Monday, to start, Zach Tom shouldn't have played to begin with.
Correct.
But then ultimately Zach Tom is your starting right tackle. Great. Plays one play. And then they go to Jordan Morgan, who has never played right tackle in any capacity in the National Football League. You made a trade for Darian Kennard prior to the season. When Zach Tom went out week 1 against the Lions, you went to Darian Kennard. Week 2, you went with Anthony Belton. And then you went to a different option in week 3. So aside from Zach Tom, they have had 3 different guys step in at right tackle. Ultimately, they went to Anthony Belton at different points in that Browns game. But I just didn't really understand what they were doing at right tackle.
Well, and you could stick with the theme of three. They've had Jordan Morgan now play three separate positions along the offensive line, and none of them are his preferred position of left tackle, which, if you go back to the preseason, when he played against starters, he was graded as one of the best left tackles in all the preseason.
Yeah, and Rasheed Walker had a bad day. So I don't think it's bad enough to go ahead and signal a change coming in week 4 against the Cowboys, who don't have a very
especially
good
not
defensive
with how
line.
poorly Jordan played in the opportunities he was given.
On the right side, though.
Right. But I think it still counts against you.
Yeah, sure. I won't disagree with that. But I don't know. It's
Fair, unfair.
Fair, unfair. The line was decimated, but you just played not very well. Defensively, you were fine. And we'll talk more about the defense in my top 5 list. But there's just so many things from that game still that tick me off and make me go, what were we doing here? But maybe they got the bad one out of the way. They're going to lose more games, obviously, but they have tough opponents they should lose to at some point.
If I know anything about Matt LaFleur-led teams, there's another bad one or two in the schedule.
And even if it's not a loss.
Right.
Right.
You're going to go, lucky to get out of there.
It could be the Bengals, and they win 17-14 on a walk-off field goal.
Correct.
And they're fighting with Jake Browning.
Even if the Packers win and don't allow that field goal or it misses, I don't think the apoplectic nature of fans would have been reduced. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think our victory Monday would have been all that cheery and victory.
No.
I'm sure you would have, by the end of Monday, spun it into it's a positive. They can win ugly.
Yeah.
But yeah, so much happened throughout that game before the ending score.
They can play awful and still win would have been my spin. Because that's how I felt with 3.5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Just get out of Cleveland.
Yes.
Right? If you win, you win. A win's a win. And you're never going to apologize for winning in the National Football League. But the absolute, what do we want to call it? The choke? The downfall? What did Torey Lowe dub it again? The collapse in Cleveland, I believe, was his
mistake in Cleveland.
I think it was collapse in Cleveland.
Yeah, collapse.
I think there was alliteration.
I don't think there was though. Now that
not originally, but when he came on KBN yesterday, he called it.
He updated it.
He said he's the best. He goes, the collapse in Cleveland. That's what I've been calling it. I was like, okay, thanks, Torey. He's the best. So anyway, yeah, it was yucky, and it is what it is. I don't think anything changes still 2 days removed or 3 days removed now from that loss. I don't think anything changes in the perspective of the Packers being one of the best teams in the NFL. I still feel like they are as good as anybody. I still think they're a top 5 team in the league.
They're still in a clear tier above most of the teams in the NFL. It's the Eagles, it's the Ravens, and it's the Bills. And the Packers still firmly remain 4th in that position, but they still remain there. And there is still a teardrop.
Yeah.
I don't think any of that's going to change short of a extended bad stretch. Now you go 0-3 against the next 3 teams. Then
we have Houston. We have a problem.
Yes. But I don't see that carrying through.
Yeah. So we're good. We're good to close the door in Cleveland.
I closed the door probably Monday night.
That's too fast.
I feel like we got all our takes out.
It takes one thing: emotion, anger, frustration. That's another.
I don't experience the Packers the same way you do.
Why?
I'm not as emotionally attached.
That's problematic to me.
No, I'm a fan. I root for it, but I got life, man.
Well, so do I. And life goes on, of course.
Yeah.
But what keeps me up at night? What do I do before I go to bed? I think about the Packers.
I have never once struggled to fall asleep after a disappointing Packers loss.
Really?
My father has that affliction.
So it's not hereditary?
No.
Okay. I thought it would be.
And and maybe it's just the degree now at which I talk about the Packers constantly, where it feels less of the childish excitement involved.
I hope I never lose that.
It seems like you're not.
That's good.
It is a very fun feeling to be a kid and get super excited, ride the highs and the lows.
Right. Well, actually, let's talk about that before we get to my top 5 list.
Uh-huh.
Because Will is insufferable this week after the Bears win?
Monday I was, but
Okay, let's talk about what
I've moved on.
No, let's talk about what you did today, actually. How about we prove you didn't move on? You want to talk about that?
Sure.
You want to stop lying to the MIA?
Sure.
Before I tell the story, I'm going to give you the opportunity to say, you know what, I just lied to the MIA and I apologize.
I got Strouf. That's all I got to say. I got him.
All right, so I'm sitting at my desk earlier this morning. Probably about, what would
Our
you say,
desk.
Will? About an hour? Yeah, our desk. Sorry, Joshy. About an hour ago.
Yeah, about an hour ago.
And Will walks past. He goes, Strouf, question for you. I go, what's up, Will? And he's smiling. I go, what?
Will doesn't have a great poker face.
No,
by the
he-
way.
I literally I thought about doing it to him, and I went like into a side hallway and smiled and laughed about it. So I was like, I got to get it all out of me.
So he comes over, he's smiling ear to ear. And I go, what? He goes, hey, do you know when the NFL announces players of the week? I said, well, it's usually on Wednesday. And he said, yeah, but when on Wednesday? Like, when do they do it? And I said, they already did it, didn't they? All right, assuming Caleb Williams probably won an NFC Offensive Player of the Week. He goes, no, seriously, I'm not joking. And he's still smiling. No, seriously, I'm not joking. When do they announce it? I go, well, I'll look it up for you. I Googled NFL Players of the Week 3. And what do you know? RB Jonathan Taylor and QB Caleb Williams named Offensive Players of the Week. And he just goes, ha, 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 ha. And he walks away.
So if you sniffed it out, why did you even give him?
Because I hadn't seen it, and I feel like as a sports talk host, it's still relevant information, despite the fact it doesn't really matter.
We dismissed the Player of the Week award when J.J. McCarthy won it. I've now removed any value from that.
Let's talk about that for a moment, because week 1 it was J.J. McCarthy. Who beat who, Will?
Very good football team.
Who'd they beat?
The team that is located the next south team of the Green Bay Packers.
Who did they beat?
The Bears.
Okay. Week 2, Jared Goff won Offensive Player of the Week in the NFC. Who'd they beat?
The Bears. It's just further proof the Bears play good offenses.
Was this? So you think, is there a potential here that this was, hey, we're sorry we embarrassed you 2 weeks in a row?
It could have been.
Yeah,
I didn't think
it was
about
it was
like
a pity award. Pity award for Caleb Williams.
The lesson here is that Strouf just fell right into my trap.
did.
Even though he knew it was a trap, he did exactly what I wanted him to do.
I participated in a known trap.
Yes. So you can't be mad about
I'm
it.
like a leprechaun running for the golden coins.
Mm-hmm.
I knew what I was getting myself into. All right, let's get to this. So we're through 3 weeks of the NFL season. The Packers are 2-1. And I kind of want to run through the top 5 storylines that stick out to me through 3 weeks. Top 5 storylines about the Packers. Because there's a ton. Obviously, Micah Parsons was traded here, and it changed everything in terms of expectations and ability to compete with certain offenses and certain defenses and all the in-betweens. So I want to dive into my top 5 storylines through 3 weeks. Let's start with number 5. And that is about the first-round pick, Matthew Golden, and the fact he still hasn't really popped off quite yet. Through 3 weeks, he's got 6 receptions for 68 yards, but that includes a game where he had 0 receptions, week 2 against Washington. He was blanked. The talent is visible, but the production is not there yet. He had that long catch last week where he veered out of bounds and maybe could have stayed in bounds and tiptoed the sideline for several more yards, and maybe I wouldn't be saying he hasn't quite popped off yet if he would have had a 90-yard reception. But we haven't seen it quite yet. We see the makings of it. We see it forming. We see it coming. Just hasn't popped quite yet. So storyline 5 is that we haven't seen the Matthew Golden game, but I think that's coming, and I think that could come as soon as this week prior to the bye against the Dallas Cowboys. Good opportunity for the entire offense to get right, but it's also a good opportunity for Matthew Golden to be the guy we think he can be.
Yeah, I think this is. I'm zero concerned about Matthew Golden and the breakout coming. Matthew Golden, I believe, leads all the NFL in average depth of target. That is how far he is being thrown the ball. He also has had now, 3 separate opportunities that could have been touchdowns. Mm-hmm. One, Jordan Love underthrew, the next he overthrew, and then this last one where he veered out of bounds. I think he thought he was a little closer to the boundary, perhaps, but Love did lead him that way with his throw. The one discouraging part, and this I place at the feet of Matt LaFleur, is he's getting very little designed stuff. Very little things to let's get this guy going, let's get him open, and let's use his speed. I think that's probably something that is going to end up coming, especially if Josh Jacobs continues to be as bad as he's been thus far in terms of rush yards over expected, all that stuff. I think Golden is going to need to be a feature of the offense because the running game is not as effective as we would have hoped.
I will get to that momentarily. Number 4 storyline for the Green Bay Packers through 3 weeks is that the quarterbacks are exceeding expectations. And there are some obvious reasons as to why that is, but there's some good statistics to back this up also. Through 3 weeks, the Packers have allowed 3 passing touchdowns. The catch of the year to Isaac Tesla at the end of that Lions game in week 1, and then 2 touchdowns from Jaden Daniels, a 20-yarder to Zach Ertz and a 10-yarder to Deebo Samuel, where Deebo did a lot of the work anyway.
Well, and the Zach Ertz one was just a Quay Walker overcommitment.
Correct.
2 out of 3 of those were garbage time touchdowns, too.
Yes.
True.
So, not allowing deep balls, and again, opposing offenses haven't had a lot of time. Their pockets are collapsing faster because of the Micah Parsons addition for obvious reasons. But the quarterbacks are exceeding expectations. That was the position I think we all would have circled prior to week 1 and said, this is the one I'm most concerned about. But Keyshawn Nixon's been awesome. Carrington Valentine's been really good. Javon Bullard's been really good. Nate Hobbs hasn't played as much as I think maybe we'd expect after the nice contract and the nice signing that was made in the offseason. But that's a group where you've looked at it and you've gone, okay, they've played better than maybe I anticipated here through 3 weeks of the NFL season. So storyline 4, the cornerbacks are exceeding my expectations.
I was much higher on the cornerback rooms, and it felt like literally everybody else who is a fan of the Packers. I would say, though, I do agree that's the one position I had an eye on, just because of lack of depth, lack of superstardom at that position, where when you look on the defense, there was at all other position groups, there were guys you thought, well, that guy could probably make it work there. Keyshawn Nixon continues to answer every ball. I think Carrington Valentine has been fantastic. Mm-hmm. And I think Javon Bullard has had ups and downs, but I think long-term, both he and Evan Williams are going to be sort of stalwarts on the defense. The Packers told us before the offseason, after the draft, they felt good about the cornerback positions, and certainly Micah Parsons is a portion of it, but I also just think those 4 guys are better than we anticipated.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. All right, let's move to storyline 3. It's that Jordan Love is good, but just how good is he? I don't want to say we necessarily, but I think a lot of people got after him pretty good after the bad decision at the end of the Cleveland game, which obviously led to that interception, which led to a touchdown and ultimately opened the door back up for Cleveland to win that game. It's one bad throw. He made a couple bad throws in the Detroit game. But all in all, he's been good. Of all the quarterbacks that have started all 3 games, he ranks 4th in quarterback rating. 5 touchdowns to 1 interception, just under 700 yards through 3 games. He's been good. If you look at Potawatomi Sportsbook, he's still 4th in MVP odds, behind Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and Justin Herbert.
It's a distant 4th.
It is a distant 4th. It's fallen off quite a bit. But hey, if you think he's going to learn from his mistakes on Sunday, get on over to Potawatomi Sportsbook. But all in all, I think through 3 games, through 12 quarters, Jordan Love has played some pretty clean, good football. But can he take that next step? And can he really show how good he is? That's a big question that I'm looking forward to against the worst defense in the NFL this week. The team that has allowed the most points and most passing yards in the NFL is the Dallas Cowboys. And you've got him with a national spotlight on Sunday night. Just how good can Jordan Love be? I think Sunday is a really good opportunity for him to get right and prove just how good he is.
I think there's always going to be a degree of Jordan Love where he makes a boneheaded throw. I also think I have noticed, and let's delete what we saw in Game 3 against the Browns, because he had no time. I mean, Rasheed Walker was screaming Jordan run at him.
That was a great video.
Because he whiffed so bad. Jordan Morgan was awful, and Elton Jenkins was awful. Zach Tom went out, and then Anthony Belton had his struggles as well. I don't think it's really fair to grade Jordan on what we saw in his inaccuracy on Sunday against the Browns just because it was a bleep show up front. But in those first two games, he looked clearly in command of the offense to a degree I don't think I had seen in any of the previous two seasons.
Yeah.
Even dating back to his 8-game stretch there where he was the best quarterback in the NFL in 2023, it always felt kind of like he was getting a little bit lucky. He was making some throws that were probably not high percentage, but they were going his way. And it felt different through the first two games, and they were still leaving points on the board. I think Jordan Love, if he can remove most of those mistakes, is going to be a giant asset for the Packers. And I think Matt LaFleur also needs to make up his mind. Does he trust him or does he not? Because sometimes it looks like he trusts him, and sometimes it doesn't.
I agree.
I also think that interception was not as bad as it looked. Like, if you go back and watch the wide view of the field, when Jordan Love went to release the ball, the defender was completely behind the receiver that was coming in front of Romeo Doubs on that play. Like, if you're Matt LaFleur, you got to notice that the Browns' coverage was just playing at the first down line. They needed to limit the Packers from getting a first down. So I don't think a lot, or if any of the blame should be on Jordan Love, and more so on the play call. We saw Dan Campbell did it against the Ravens. They were up 4 with like 7 minutes left. They ran 3 safe plays, kicked the field goal, and trusted his defense. But the only difference is they had to stop Lamar. Matt LaFleur had to stop Joe frickin' Flacco.
I like hearing Will defend Jordan Love.
It's just my honest take on it.
It's just a guy spitting,
it's just
spitting
a take.
honest.
I appreciate the honesty.
I've watched it. I don't think it's his fault.
No, I mean, it has to be to some degree.
Yeah.
He threw the ball, but the reason the ball was so low and seemingly slow was because Jordan recognized it too late, because the call that he was given in the play, if it were run properly and executed, was to throw it directly there at that time, at that mark.
It was an anticipation play,
Yes.
which is what he did. And like you said, by the time that he realized that it was a bad mistake, it was too late.
Love it. All right, let's move to storyline 2. Numero dos. Storyline number 2 is the offensive line in the run game isn't as big of a strength as it was last year, at least through 3 games. The Packers have led or been tied, and oftentimes tied is 0-0. Against the Browns, it was 10-10. Every second of the NFL season so far, outside of when time expired against the Browns. Ultimately, that's why they're 2-1. But the Packers have led just about every second they've played of football this year through 3 weeks. But they're 20th in rush yards per game. The offensive line's been a mess. I understand that, so it's a fair excuse. But Josh Jacobs hasn't been all that good. He averaged less than 2 yards per carry against Cleveland. He averaged under 4 yards per carry in every game so far this year. While he's a workhorse and he's a back you can trust, and I think we all trust him, at least to some degree, he just hasn't been the dog you'd hope so far. And again, I think some of that falls in the offensive line and the run blocking, but some of that also falls on Josh Jacobs. Joshy's got a good statistic on him that I'm blanking on.
Yes. Josh Jacobs is last in the league at rush yards over expected. It is a stat that basically tries to normalize. So are you getting, if you have 0, you're getting exactly what you're expected to, and that's based on blocking, spacing. It uses player tracking data, so it's not just some guy's opinion. It is next-gen stats looking at, this is how much space you were blocked up for, and this is how much space you had, and then what did you do on your own to create more of that. Last year, Josh Jacobs was below Saquon Barkley and Derrick Henry, which fair. Few people will ever be as good as those guys.
As they were last year, yeah.
But he was in company with all the usual suspects, the Bijan Robinson, the Jahmyr Gibbs, I believe also...
Chuba Hubbard was in that list, I believe.
Jonathan Taylor might have also been up there as well.
Yeah.
Where he was truly better than expected with the amount of space, blocking, etc. that he was given.
Yeah, and the other part of this is...
And what it does do is, because I think the average person will go, well, the offensive line hasn't been good. Yes.
And that's true.
Yes, and Josh Jacobs hasn't been that great either.
But the other part of this is, Joshy, last year the Packers utilized heavily, and part of this was because Love was hampered a little bit throughout the season with injury, but they utilized the run game to open up things in the pass game. Hasn't worked this year.
Nope.
Through 3 games. Despite some big wins in the first 2 weeks and a game they should have won in week 3, it hasn't worked. And that's concerning, at least for the long term. But we'll see again, another good opportunity. And I'll say this every time we talk about the offense through Sunday. It's a good opportunity to get right for this offense. They're playing a bad defense and a team that has allowed the most points and passing yards in the NFL through 3 weeks in Dallas Cowboys. So number 2, the offensive line and run game isn't as big of a strength as it was a year ago. The number 1 storyline for the Green Bay Packers.
Dun.
One more time.
I feel like we needed some real fanfare. Dun, dun, dun.
The number 1 storyline for the Green Bay Packers through 3 weeks.
There we go.
The addition of Micah Parsons has made this defense championship good. They are 3rd best in the NFL in yards per game allowed. They rank 5th in the league on sacks. Rashawn Gary, through 3 weeks, leads the NFL in sacks. 4.5. More than anybody else in the NFL, Rashawn Gary leads the league in sacks through 3 weeks. What Micah Parsons' addition has done to this defense is hard to communicate, but if you're watching the same game as I am, you can tell this defense is championship good. Enough said.
Yeah, I don't know if I've got anything to add to that. Pretty straightforward. Don't think I have any disagreements. I think they're going to continue to get better and better as the season goes on, as some of those young guys continue to progress. I've been more than pleased with the play of Rashawn Gary and Lucas Van Ness, and I know people are going to point to Micah Parsons' presence, but Lucas Van Ness has, I believe, 11 pressures at this point of the season, which is astronomical for him, and he's winning one-on-one in ways he didn't last season. Rashawn Gary, I think, he certainly is benefiting probably the most.
13 pressures for him through 3 weeks.
But the guy who I believe I said on this program before, I'm not going to believe in him until he forces me to. He's starting to force me to it.
That's good.
Yes.
On pace for 25.5 sacks. Math guy.
Gary is?
Yes.
That would be an NFL record, by the way. Yeah.
I do think he will certainly have his first year of double digits.
I mean, he might have that by
It's almost
7.
Half away from being halfway there.
Half away from halfway there.
That made sense.
It did.
Half a sack away
Couldn't
from being
you just
halfway
say
there.
he's
Nearly halfway there.
yeah?
That would also do. Would also do. So just to recap, my top 5 storylines through 3 weeks of the NFL season. Number 5, Matthew Golden still hasn't popped. Number 4, the cornerbacks are exceeding expectations. Number 3, Love is good, but how good? Number 2, the offensive line and run game isn't as big of a strength as it was a year ago. And number 1, Micah Parsons. Micah makes this defense at championship level. Speaking of Micah Parsons returns to Dallas on Sunday Night Football. National spotlight, lights are bright, and I'm sure the crowd will be thrilled to see him. Micah Parsons talking with the Associated Press, said if I sack Dak Prescott, it'll be kind of mixed emotions because that's his guy, but it'll obviously be the sweet part of bittersweet because, well, sacking the opposing quarterback is what he's paid to do. And Jerry Jones, man, this old man, we all know he made a mistake by trading Micah Parsons to the Green Bay Packers. Look what that's done to their defense. They let Russell Wilson, who just got benched, put 500 yards a career high on him, on that defense. And a heavy part of that is because they don't have a pass rusher as elite as Micah Parsons. Jerry Jones does a weekly appearance on 105.3 The Fan in Dallas. And when asked, well, do you have any bad feelings toward Micah Parsons after the stalled negotiations and eventual trade, Jerry Jones had this to say about how he's feeling towards the Packers star pass rusher.
And so there's as a matter of fact, cool as a cucumber as far as feelings or as far as flaring.
He can barely get a coherent sentence out.
Well, at some point, I think we're picking on an elderly man who probably isn't as concise and direct as he once was.
Well, that's his fault for still being the general manager of the football team.
Well, his fault, our advantage.
True, but couldn't you make the argument that you're taking advantage of an old man then?
He has enough people around him that his decisions usually aren't just Jerry.
Yeah, but I don't know about that. I feel like once Jerry makes his mind up, it's happening. He owns the damn team.
It seems to be there are times where it's, yes, very much Jerry dependent. He can't help but be the center of attention, and I do think he is more clever than we give him credit for.
Sure.
I also think he's probably worse at football than he's talked about, if that makes sense. Like Jerry doesn't know ball. He gets enamored by certain prospects, certain things. The Cowboys have had great draft picks. They've also had some. Taco Charlton comes to mind.
You telling people they don't know ball will always be a highlight of my day.
I mean, you traded Micah Parsons.
You don't know ball.
What other reason could you come up with to justify trading Kenny Clark and 2 firsts for Micah Parsons?
Trading for Kenny Clark and 2 first-round picks for Micah Parsons?
Yeah.
Not knowing ball.
Yeah.
No, I mean, and he denies this, and I don't know if Mike has spoken on this, but that relationship was fractured beyond repair.
Yes.
But that's poor management.
Because he did the Jerry thing of stringing it as long as possible, making it into a whole PR, because he's great at the PR. Even if people are telling him he doesn't know ball like me, he is consuming a large part of the NFL conversation, no matter how good the Cowboys are or not. Them being a winning team is not important to the amount of attention they get on a week-to-week basis.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's largely why he's built that monolith in Dallas, and the reason their franchise valuation is as high as it is.
Yeah. Cool as a cucumber.
He's chiller than you are.
Can you play that one more time, Will? Just Jerry Jones talking about his feelings toward Micah Parsons. It's such a great clip.
And so there's as a matter of fact, cool as a cucumber as far as feelings or as far as flaring.
What was that last word? Flarings?
Foolish flarings.
Yeah. If you watched the documentary,
I didn't.
This clip also went around on social media because the Packers fans were celebrating it.
Oh, sure.
He's not going to be cool as a cucumber. He generally isn't when it comes to the game happening in front of him. He ostensibly threw a fit in the owner's box in the playoffs.
I feel
called it the worst loss, like the most damaging loss in Cowboys history.
Yeah.
And it was a divisional game.
Listening to this interview.
Wild card game.
Yeah. We're listening to this interview on 105 through the Fan. Usually when you end an interview, I've done plenty of them. Usually when you end an interview.
Some better than others.
When you end an interview, you say, typically, Josh, if I was interviewing you, say, all right, thanks, Josh.
Thanks. Have a good one.
Talk to you guys next week, right?
Yeah.
And something normal like that. He goes, you bet, guys. It's a really big one for us. I'm very excited for it. Can't wait.
And he knows that it's a big one because it's on Sunday Night Football. He knows he's going to be on camera a lot, and he knows they're going to be talking about the move he pulled off. He still doesn't think he's in the wrong, by the way.
No, of course not.
He thinks they won.
He will never think he's in the wrong. They acquired Kenny Clark, and they got 2 first-round draft picks that will likely be in the late 20s or early 30s.
I believe also in that interview he said maybe we use those 2 picks to get a player like Micah Parsons.
He did say that.
I don't know. I'd have kept the one I had.
Give up Micah Parsons to go get a player like Micah Parsons. Okay. Sound logic.
And for all those wondering, there aren't a lot of Micah Parsons out there.
Oh, really?
No.
Oh, that's why Goody took the swing he did?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay. Makes sense. All right, let's pivot to baseball real quick, and then we'll get to one word and what we missed over the course of the next 20 minutes or so. So, Brewers have lost 3 in a row. Oh, hold on, real quick. Poll update on YouTube at ESPN Milwaukee. Do you want Strouf to be perfect or imperfect? 83% imperfect.
Good for you. It is a unique position that you and Ben Brust have found yourself in, where the worse you are, the more the audience loves you.
No, don't compare me to that. Don't compare me to that. Because mine's different. At least I know what the hell I'm doing here. Not to say Ben doesn't, but
It's interesting you say that because Chef Ed in the YouTube chat said no fan interaction today, ? And then all caps, adios.
I've read multiple comments today. I just haven't read Chef Ed's. What do you want me to do with premature one word, average? What's that about? I don't know what that means.
Ask him.
No.
No, I'm just going to keep the show going.
Since we pivoted for the Brewers, I've got a very important bulletin. I wish we had this on there. There are special new menu items coming for the 2025 National League Division Series.
Go on.
I need you guys to pick from these.
Okay.
The Totally Tipsy Polish, a giant 1.5-foot Johnsonville Polish sausage.
I like Polish
topped
sausage.
with
That's too
beer,
much.
onion, brown mustard, pickled peppers, Bavarian sprinkles. What are Bavarian
I
sprinkles?
don't know. On a sausage, okay.
It's available at the sausage stand. The griddle stack, beef patty, breakfast sausage patty, American cheese, a pocket pancake, and maple peppercorn mayo. That's interesting.
That sounds really good.
And the J. Leinenkugel's Barrel Yard Bracho, house fried kettle chips, beer smoked Johnsonville bratwurst, beer cheese sauce, pico de gallo, blistered
Sounds good.
peppers, and creme fraiche.
That would probably be my pick because the other option sounds like if I was there at 9 a.m. That sounds good.
Yeah, it's sort of one of those you can blend it. The Totally Tipsy Polish, that's got to be like a 3-4 person adventure.
I would guess 4. Yeah. Because I was going to say, if we've got a 6-incher,
Did you say it was a foot long?
1.5
1.5. We got 18.
Yeah, if we're talking about like a 3 or 4-incher,
Does it come with a briefcase to carry it?
it's got to be in a cardboard box with handles. It has to be.
Yeah.
It has to be.
There's
It's
no other way to
huge.
manage it.
I mean, it's this long.
Yeah.
That might even be short. I wish I knew what 18 inches was.
It's 1.5.
Oh, yeah. So Brewers have 4 games left, like I said at the beginning of the show, but one first pitch is about 2 hours from now when we're live on YouTube. If you're listening on the audio side, may be already over and down to 3 games left with an off day on Thursday for the Brewers. I'm not concerned in terms of the 1 seed. I'm not concerned in terms of the bye. I'm honestly not even really that concerned about the divisional series. But there is things to be concerned about. Trevor McGill is going to throw Sunday for the Brewers in some capacity. No matter what the score is, no matter what the situation is, he needs to get out there and pitch. He has not pitched since August 24th, a month ago today. So if they're going to have McGill either as their closer or just a bullpen arm in some capacity in the NLDS, they need to see what he's working with and how the soreness and how he responds to it with that elbow injury suffered a month ago. But the other part of this is who are your reliable arms in terms of starting pitchers? You know you've got Freddie. You know you've got Priester, who wins every game he plays in, apparently. But then after that, who do you go to in the postseason? That's where I get tied up a little bit, is this Brandon Woodruff thing does not seem like it's getting solved anytime soon, and it's unfortunate because he's been great since he returned in July, but sounds like you're probably not going to see him in the postseason. So that's where I get tied up and go, okay, can they pull an effort where everybody's pitching the opener rather than the starter situation we've seen in the past from them in postseason scenarios? Does that work for this year's team? I think the answer is probably yes. But would you rather have a reliable arm like Woodruff in that situation? I think the answer to that is also yes.
Yeah, it's a bad spot.
Bad spot.
Bad spot. I don't know how else to explain it. I do believe in the Brewers to be able to manufacture to give them a chance in the because you guys talked about on Jen and Gabe this morning. It's not as big of a concern for the division series. You can kind of make that work based on the scheduling and the off time in that series. NLCS things will get kind of sketchy there. The big thing is you'd love this spot to be, we'll just put Jacob Mizorowski here. He has struggled mightily the past month and a half, let's say. Everyone talks about the 1 inning where he seems to lose his ability to pitch.
And the good news with him is he kind of has that the term I guess you could use is amnesia, the bad play amnesia.
Yes.
Where he has a short memory. He seems to get his composure back. But, for example, it's happened twice this year where he allows a leadoff home run, and all of a sudden you're in a 1-0 hole with no outs in the top of the first or bottom of the first inning. And that's something that has to concern you. Because I don't think you can trust him in a spot like that.
No, and the problem to me is Jacob Misiorowski has been a starting pitcher all throughout his time in the minor leagues. Mm-hmm. They continue to want to use him there, and everyone says, well, just move him to the bullpen. I don't know if that's going to be the best usage of Jacob Misiorowski. He's going to be in a situation he's not necessarily accustomed to, coming into what you would think would be pretty high leverage spots as a reliever in games where, unless the Brewers have 5, 6, 7 run lead, you're going to be in a tight game, and you're going to need somebody to deliver. What?
You said 6-7.
Oh, I still don't know what that means.
I really don't either. Go ahead, Will. Sorry.
Haven't for the life of me.
I've harped on this a while, that depth, how important depth is in the playoffs in the MLB. And we went from a spot in mid to late August where we were thinking, if we were really in a pinch, we could bring in Quinn Priester, we could bring in Jose Quintana to pitch an inning or two if the starter struggles. And now that pitching staff has just gotten incredibly thin. So that's the one thing that really worries about me, especially in the team with the Brewers that we've been dealing with all year, dealing not in a bad way, where they're not going to hit a bunch of home runs. You're not going to get that instant, that instant result of runs. It's going to take time. They're going to have to grind away at bats. So the pitching being very thin where it is right now, that's my only concern for this team.
And as Rick and Chef Ed point out on the ESPN Milwaukee YouTube chat, runners in scoring position has dropped off significantly the last couple of weeks. Offensively, they haven't been scoring as many runs. Now, again, I'm less worried about that because I do trust most of these guys in those big spots. When you talk about the Bryce Terangs, the Christian Yelich's, the William Contrerases, the Caleb Durbins, even Andrew Vaughn, I do trust this team to manufacture runs. I do. It's not that's not the concern for me. It's the what Rick describes as the iffy bullpen, super iffy bullpen, as Rick describes it on YouTube.
I think it comes down to how much does the team trust Chad Patrick, and is that a reliable option?
Well, this afternoon might be a tryout of sorts, right? I mean, he started the year really well, and then he obviously went back to AAA, but he started the year really well for them.
I don't think he's been sent down really due to his play.
No, I do.
He has a 3.66 ERA. He's shown up and played well and pitched well when asked to.
He was sent back down because Woodruff was back. Yeah.
So that to me is the interesting part. He started 22 games this season. That's the fourth most of all the Brewers pitchers. They have difficult decisions. The good thing is I do trust implicitly. Maybe I shouldn't based on the Jesse Winker stuff and things we've seen in the past, but I trust the Brewers to figure out pitching. The thing is, even if you figure it out, it's not going to be as good as it would be to have Brandon Woodruff.
Yeah. You'll have Chad Patrick today. You'll have Quinn Priester on Friday. You might get a Misiorowski appearance over the weekend, and maybe one more Freddie appearance, but I don't know that that's a given at this point, considering he started 32 games this year already. But we will see. I have no worries about the 1 seed. The Brewers aren't going to lose out, first off. I'd like to see them win at least one more so they can get to 96 and maybe get past 96 wins for the first time in franchise history in the regular season.
There is a situation where Quintana could return, is there not?
Yes, there is.
Okay.
Over the weekend, yeah.
I don't necessarily feel over the moon about that, but I think he's been very good this season. So it is.
Oh, wait. I don't think there is.
What?
Because he was put on IL retroactive to September 15th. 15-day IL. So I
meant for the division.
Oh, for the divisional series. Yes, sorry. I thought you meant for this weekend.
No.
It doesn't really help, too, that you have to end your season with a 3-game series against the Reds, who have a lot more to play for right now.
Well, same with the Padres.
Right.
I mean, these are teams that are scrapping and clawing, trying to get themselves in the best position for the postseason. Now, the Padres are in. The Reds control their own destiny as far as I'm aware. But
sorry, I misspoke. Quintana has a 3.96 ERA. I think I might have said he had lower. Or I maybe not have said it at all, and I dreamt that.
You might have dreamt that.
That's fine.
The Reds now 1 game back of the Mets, so they do need to win a lot more. They did control their own destiny, but they lost again last night. So, all All right, that's Brewers talk. I'm sure we'll talk more about it on Friday as things continue to kick up as we get ready for the postseason. All Brewers talk on ESPN Wisconsin. Unconditionally relentless, presented by the Neurospine Center of Wisconsin. Shout out to our friends at the Neurospine Center of Wisconsin.
Shout out.
Shout out. All right, Will, your time to shine. It's time now for One Word Wednesday, where Joshy and I are going to give you one word on every topic Will throws at us.
First one we got. Jerry Jones and the Cowboys will not have a video tribute for Micah Parsons ahead of his return to Dallas this weekend.
Expected.
Typical.
You could go with Petty, but they never won anything when he was there, so I don't really have that big of an issue with it.
Yeah. Jerry was clearly hurt by Micah seeking a trade. They thought they had a handshake deal. He doesn't like Micah, isn't going to like Micah. Jerry also the Jimmy Johnson era and the Petty degree he's been known to have. This is of no surprise to me.
Mm-hmm.
Ole Miss head coach's daughter, Landry Kiffin, hard launched her relationship with Whit Weeks, who is LSU's star linebacker, the week of the LSU Ole Miss game.
Romantic. How can you not be romantic about football? So sweet. I love this story.
Suspicious. If I was a fan of LSU, a coach at LSU, or a teammate, I'd be suspicious of the enemy's daughter dating my quarterback.
So she posted this, I think it was either yesterday or Monday.
I believe it was Monday.
And it was just a picture of those two. She was like sitting on his lap. Mm-hmm. Good looking couple, right? And he commented something like, he's a good guy about himself, right? A little haha. And then Lane Kiffin chimed in.
Oh, boy.
And then he chimed in on Twitter. He quote tweeted an old tweet of him and his daughter, and I would assume his wife or ex-wife or baby mama. I would assume her mother. And it's an old picture. She was like a little girl. And it was like it was a picture of the three of them at a beach. And he just said, I know who will be cheering for Ole Miss this weekend. Quote tweeted that.
It means more. SEC.
And there's a top 15 matchup between Ole Miss and LSU this weekend. It's just sweet, dude. Southern football is different. Does she go to LSU, do we know? Because Mississippi to Louisiana ain't like a...
I mean, she's Lane Kiffin's daughter. She could do whatever she wants.
It's probably taking a PJ, right? Yeah, fair point.
And also, the starting quarterback for LSU also does what he wants.
I guess I don't know what that's in reference to.
Oh, just how much NIL money the starting quarterback to LSU would be given.
Oh, fair.
Right.
Okay, gotcha.
Like, yeah.
He's the linebacker.
I thought you were speaking.
Did I say quarterback?
But he's definitely he's definitely like one of their top earners. He's
yes.
top 3-star player.
If you're starting at LSU, Alabama, Ohio State, you're getting money.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
And he's had a really good year for them.
Yes.
It's just all fascinating. I'm fascinated by the whole thing.
All right, coming up next, the Ryder Cup is this weekend, and U.S. fans started chirping Rory McIlroy by chanting USA, USA after he thinned a wedge over the green in a practice round.
America.
Rivalry.
Good one, Joshy.
I love the Ryder Cup to a degree that I've tried to manufacture my weekend to allow me maximum viewing of all the things Ryder Cup. It's such a gotta be there event. Wisconsin had the honor of having it in Wisconsin not long ago. It's so much fun. The teammate aspect from a sport that is usually so individualized is awesome. The personalities golf has are more interesting than ever, and I think that's deliberate. I'm a little bit of a golf nerd, so I'm very excited about all things Ryder Cup.
Mm-hmm.
They're a lot louder too. It's a lot more of a higher energy event. They're showing a lot of more emotion, especially with the teammate attached.
Yes, it's great because there's less golfers going at any given time. There are the premier matchups, and it's almost closer to like the waste management in terms of the way fans treat it. Everyone dresses up, they're rooting and booing the other. Like pretty rare to see golfers booed.
Correct.
But
in this scenario,
when Rory walks up to T1 at Bethpage Black, he's going to hear a lot of boos.
I mean, this was a Tuesday practice round.
Yes.
Like, imagine what's going to happen, right, like you said.
on Friday, right?
Yeah.
Amazing.
According to Next Gen Analytics, Eagles D lineman Jordan Davis reached 18.59 miles per hour on his touchdown off a blocked field goal. He is 6'6", 336 pounds.
And runs faster than me.
No, I mean, he runs faster.
He'd run laps around you.
He runs faster than 95% of the humans on Earth.
That might be an understatement.
Yeah.
I mean, that's awesome.
Yes.
He
my
was
word
flying.
My word is speed.
I think the best athletes in the world are on defensive lines.
Yes.
When you factor in size and
strength and
yes.
speed. Yeah, I would
Yeah.
agree with that. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
look at Micah Parsons. Just
Yes.
look at him. You don't
Yes.
even need to see him do anything. Just look at him.
Yeah. It's just such a rare combination of those things. He's a fun player. He's someone I would have loved the Packers to get, but I don't know if he'd be as good
I don't think he would be.
as he is with the team. He's
I don't know.
currently with.
Jeff Hafley is there. Maybe he is.
It is wild that he said he's never been, like, this is the best shape of his life, is what he was saying
He's
in training
thinned out
camp,
a
and he's still
ton.
336 pounds.
I believe in college there were points where he was over 400 pounds, just based on sheer size. And then he's progressively continued to lose weight and just get even better in the NFL.
Speaking of fitness, our last one, Zion
Fitness.
Williamson, when
Yeah.
asked about
Jesus,
his fitness
fitness.
at Pelicans Media Day, said, I haven't felt like this since college.
Slim. He looks really good. I saw a video of him at his press conference
Well,
at Media Day.
Did you get centelled?
No, why?
There's a picture circulating on Twitter of Zion where he looked to be about 160 pounds, and it was getting a lot of people.
No, I saw him on Sports Center on the TV
I was just making
upstairs.
sure. I was just making sure.
Oh, he looks
I
slim.
saw the picture circulating.
I mean, he didn't even look like this in high school and college. I mean, obviously he was a tank at Duke. He was awesome. I mean, remember the time he busted out of his shoes? I think in the ACC tournament.
Blew a tire.
Yeah. And then I think they got bounced in the first. Oh, they did get bounced in the first week, and I don't remember if it was the 64 or 32 round. But anticlimactic ending to his college career, but still a number 1 overall pick. Hasn't been able to stay healthy. Hasn't been able to piece it all together. He looks good though. He looks good. Slim is my word.
Not buying it.
Oh. 28 days of the NBA season, by the way.
Could have fooled me. Zion is. What are you supposed to do with this guy?
We're going to find out. Still a top 100 player, according to ESPN.com.
Well, I mean, how many NBA players are there currently?
What's 15 times 30?
I don't know.
450, I think.
Yeah, so he's top quarter.
Am I right?
No, I was going to throw out a bad guess.
What was your guess going to be? You got to be honest here. No, you got to be
Say
honest.
like 145.
That's 450. I nailed that math. Good for me. Starting the show with bad math, ending the show with good math.
To me, there are few athletes that I can look at and say, you don't really care about the sport you play.
But I don't know if you can make that case for Zion.
Come on.
I think,
Come on.
but in the past, I would agree.
With all the resources you have as a professional athlete, you have to try to get out of shape.
Yes. And he's consistently that way.
Yeah, I won't argue with that. Okay. Time now for What We Missed, What We Learned. It's presented by Door County Distillery, locally produced, handcrafted, award-winning spirits made locally in beautiful Door County. Whatever you're looking for to elevate your next gathering, family event, birthday party, tailgate, whatever you got going on, you got to try the cherry brandy from Door County Distillery for your old fashions. It's made with local Door County cherries. It just has, to me, kind of a fall taste. Brandy just does for me. The cherry brandy is delicious. Otherwise, if you're a whiskey old-fashioned person, their single malt whiskey has won 27 nationwide gold medals in whiskey competitions. 27 gold medals. That's how good it is. And it's affordable, it's local, it's award-winning, it's the best. They've also got gins and rums and vodkas, brandies, whiskeys, as I mentioned. They can elevate whatever you've got going on. Local, affordable, award-winning. Support local. Support Door County Distillery. Visit their website, doorcountydistillery.com, to find the retailer nearest you, as well as a huge list of unique cocktail recipes. All right, what we missed is there's a big celebration going on at ESPN Wisconsin today. Homer celebrates 20 years as a member of the Good Karma Brands team, the greatest of all time in Milwaukee sports talk.
Shout out Home Slice.
You have a tattoo of Homer on your leg.
He is forever going to be permanently on my skin.
Yep.
With that tattoo.
Oh, baby!
A lot of things you could say about Homer. He likes to interrupt people. He's got some wild opinions. But he is genuinely one of the best people I've ever met. His work with charity and all differing kinds of them. There was a time I got to witness Homer speaking to somebody who has special needs. And I was brought to tears with how sweet Homer was with him. He donates his time, his money, in a way that he doesn't like the recognition for, but he genuinely cares about people in an impressive way.
No doubt. And you, like you said, Josh, you could say what you want about his opinions.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I yelled at him a few months ago and said, "Shut your mouth, old man."
Tough one.
Yeah, I heard about that one for a while after that. But no, one of the all-time good guys, and proud to be his teammate and celebrate. Hopefully, the only the start of 20 more years, because he is the man. And also, by the way, if you don't follow Homer on Twitter, even if you disagree with him, it is damn entertaining the way he interacts with people on Twitter.
I hardly agree with a Homer sports opinion. But the people who get so angry at him and he replies,
he just works them. He just works them.
He just works them. It's so effortless. You know, he's just sitting on his laptop giggling, not his laptop, his iPad giggling to himself as he sends these replies. Yes, I have, and I'm not exaggerating, 50 to 60 screenshots of Homer quote retweeting somebody saying something awful to him and him replying in the funniest way you've ever seen.
Yeah, it's so good. What was I saw the one this morning that just made me giggle. I think he called himself an ass or something. But anyway. All right, well, what'd you miss?
So I got 2 words, and I've only done this one other time on this program, but I'm going to call my shot with the first one, partially because I think I know it, but also because I don't really know the second one at all, so I really need a win today. First word, apoplectic, overcome with anger. Strouf was apoplectic after the Packers lost, but convinced himself it was a wake-up game and was no longer apoplectic.
Classically using a word twice in the same sentence.
Yeah. Sure, I'll give it to you.
I don't know what the second was. I remember apoplectic.
This one's a doozy. Monolith?
Oh, boy.
Monolith.
I don't know if this definition's right. A large single upright block of stone, especially one shaped into or serving as a pillar or monument. I went to Stonehenge to visit the giant monoliths.
Well, the problem is mono. What's that word mean?
One.
And then you
made a plural. So try again, one more time.
We're getting into tenses here. I went to Stonehenge to see the giant monolith.
Wait, hold on. We're not getting into tenses.
What is that then?
You pluralized it.
Yeah, the monolith is to describe one singular thing.
A tense would be before or after.
I described Jerry World as a monolith. And then you said I went to see multiple monoliths.
I did say that. But if you've seen Stonehenge, there are multiple
I understand what Stonehenge is.
Monoliths. There's not just one.
We're done.
Hence, probably not the correct thing to describe as a monolith.
All right, well, good work today. You're the best. Joshy, good work. We'll talk to you on Friday beginning at 12:30 Central. ESPN Milwaukee, ESPN Madison on YouTube. We are all monoliths.
Homer's a monolith to Milwaukee sports radio.
We'll talk to you on Friday. We'll preview Packers Cowboys Sunday Night Football. Maybe we'll talk about the Badgers. We'll talk about the Brewers for sure. It's coming up Friday at 12:30. Reminder, you can find us Apple Podcasts, Spotify, ESPN Wisconsin app, wherever you get your podcasts. We'll talk to you Friday. Peace.